Welcome back to B&B for Phone, your absolute favorite destination for the juiciest soap opera breakdowns. Today is a phenomenal, beautiful day to unpack the explosive drama brewing at Forrester Creations. We have some jaw-dropping spoilers to discuss, so grab a snack, settle in, and let's get into it. Will Spencer is on a desperate, heart-wrenching mission, and you won't believe what happens next as he navigates the treacherous waters of love and betrayal. Following the shocking revelation of Ivy Forrester's toxic manipulation and that infamous intercepted letter, Will is left standing in the rubble of a romance that was sabotaged before it even truly began. The boy is heartbroken, utterly confused, and completely desperate to piece together the shattered fragments of his relationship with Electra. We all know that Will has been carrying the heavy burden of the Spencer legacy on his shoulders. But right now, he isn't acting like a ruthless, cold-hearted businessman. He is just a vulnerable young man in love, begging for a second chance. He seeks out Electra with a heartfelt, emotional plea to fix everything that Ivy broke. But here is the surprise. Electra is not ready to just fall back into his arms. She is holding her ground, and honestly, I completely understand her hesitation. Let's be honest, Electra has been through an absolute emotional meat grinder lately. First, she discovers that her own aunt, Ivy Forrester, orchestrated a massive deception to keep her away from Will. That kind of profound betrayal from a family member leaves deep, lasting psychological scars. Electra is overwhelmed, feeling like a helpless pawn in a twisted, slow-paced plot of control and domination. When Will comes to her, pleading to resolve their issues, she puts up a massive, impenetrable wall. She stands firm on their breakup, likely because she desperately needs time to process the sheer magnitude of the lies she has been fed. Her refusal isn't necessarily about a lack of love for Will. It is a frantic attempt to regain agency and control over her own life and decisions. She absolutely refuses to be another victim in this endless cycle of manipulation. But Will Spencer is not a quitter. That's crazy, right? You would think a guy would take the hint and back off, but the fiery Spencer blood runs hot in his veins. He absolutely refuses to give up on the woman he loves. Driven by an intense mix of passion, regret, and desperation, Will decides to take the fight directly to the belly of the beast. He marches right into the sleek, glamorous halls of Forrester Creations to find Electra, completely ignoring the fact that this building is essentially enemy territory for a Spencer right now. The suspense is absolutely killing me just thinking about him walking through those glass doors, knowing full well that tensions are at an all-time high after his recent brutal physical altercation with R.J. Forrester. And this is exactly where the situation detonates into absolute chaos. Enter Eric Forrester, the formidable, legendary patriarch of the Forrester family. Eric is not a man who takes kindly to violence in his sacred halls, especially not violence directed at his beloved grandson, RJ. According to our latest scoops, Eric is going to corner Will right there in the office, and he is going to unleash a terrifying wave of wrath upon the young Spencer. Can you believe it? Eric Forrester, usually the voice of reason, elegance, and grace, is about to back Will into a corner and lay down the ultimate law. He is going to aggressively demand that Will stay far, far away from Electra, RJ, and all the Forresters. Now, let's dive deep into the fascinating psychology of this epic confrontation. Eric's explosive reaction is deeply rooted in decades of historical animosity between the Forresters and the Spencers. When Eric looks at Will, he doesn't just see a heartbroken young man trying to win back his girlfriend. He sees the living, breathing spawn of Dollar Bill Spencer, bringing chaos and violence into his pristine legacy. Eric remembers every single time Bill Spencer tried to destroy his family, steal his company, or manipulate his loved ones. Eric's fierce, blinding, protective instincts over RJ are completely clouding his judgment. He is acting as the ultimate shield for his grandson, utterly unaware that RJ is not the innocent, angelic victim he portrays himself to be. Let's talk about RJ for a second, because I absolutely cannot stand how smug and arrogant he has been lately. RJ has been aggressively pursuing Electra, constantly bad-mouthing Will at every single opportunity, and acting with an obnoxious entitlement that screams Massimo Marone. Remember, RJ carries the blood of Massimo, Ridge's biological father, who was a ruthless, manipulative, and dangerous shipping tycoon. RJ didn't just passively get into a scuffle with Will, he actively and maliciously provoked it. He pushed Will's buttons, taunted him mercilessly about Electra, and ignited the physical fight. Yet, typical RJ, he plays the golden boy victim the second his grandfather gets involved. The blatant hypocrisy is infuriating, and it makes for some of the most compelling successor characters drama we have seen on this show in years. But wait, the plot twists are far from over. Just as Eric is viciously tearing into Will, completely dismantling the young man's confidence and ordering him off the Forrester premises forever, a shocking savior might emerge from the shadows. Will Electra just stand by and watch the man she once loved be verbally destroyed by the Forrester patriarch? The answer seems to be a resounding, triumphant no! Our predictions point to a massive, game-changing turning point where Electra finally steps out of her passive, quiet role and directly intervenes in this toxic masculine showdown. Electra is poised to step right in between Eric and Will to defend the Spencer boy. Amazing! Imagine the absolute shock and bewilderment on Eric's face when Electra, a budding designer in his own company, boldly contradicts his entire narrative. Electra is expected to confess the ugly, unvarnished truth to Eric. Will did not just attack RJ out of nowhere. RJ was the instigator. RJ was the one who viciously provoked Will into throwing hands. By telling the truth about RJ's nasty, manipulative behavior, Electra is doing so much more than just clearing Will's name. She is actively rejecting the toxic Forrester entitlement that RJ has been weaponizing against her and Will. This is a monumental, awe-inspiring moment of character growth for Electra. She is finally finding her voice and refusing to let powerful men dictate the narrative of her life. Why is Electra doing this? Deep down, in her core, she knows that Will's heart is pure, even if his Spencer temper got the better of him in that moment. She knows that the physical fight was merely a tragic symptom of Ivy's poisonous interference and RJ's cruel, calculated taunting. By fiercely defending Will to Eric, Electra is essentially signaling to the entire world that her heart still beats for the Spencer heir. She might have told Will that she is standing firm on their breakup, but actions speak way louder than words. Defending him against the terrifying wrath of Eric Forrester proves that she still deeply, passionately cares about him and cannot bear to see him unjustly punished. It is a brilliant, emotionally charged moment that completely redefines their entire dynamic. And you have to wonder, how is this explosive revelation going to ripple through the rest of the canvas? This truth bomb is going to send massive shockwaves through the executive offices of Forrester Creations. If Eric learns that his precious RJ provoked a physical assault on company property, how will that affect RJ's golden boy standing? Furthermore, think about the impending catastrophic explosion between Brooke and Katie. Brooke is already fiercely defending RJ and aggressively pushing him toward Electra. Katie, on the other hand, is fiercely protective of Will. When Katie finds out that Eric cornered her son, and that Brooke's son provoked the whole violent ordeal, the Logan sisters are going to go to total apocalyptic war. The corporate boardroom battle over Hope Logan is already tearing Brooke and Katie apart, But this volatile situation with Will and RJ is going to pour gallons of gasoline on an already raging inferno. I am absolutely living for this intense, multi-generational drama. The way the brilliant writers are weaving these iconic legacy family feuds into the messy lives of the younger generation is pure, unadulterated soap opera gold. We are finally moving away from the replacement actors just settling into their roles, and we are getting some gritty, high-stakes emotional warfare. Will Spencer is proving that he has the romantic dedication and vulnerability of a true leading man, while RJ is rapidly descending into dark, villainous territory with his manipulative, highly entitled behavior. I really, truly hope Eric takes a hard, objective look at his grandson and realizes that the Forrester name doesn't give you a free pass to be a cruel bully. What do you guys think about this absolutely explosive storyline? Do you think Electra's brave defense of Will is enough to repair their shattered, fragile relationship? Will Eric actually listen to Electra's truth? Or will he blindly, stubbornly side with RJ just because they share the same blood? And how far will RJ go to destroy Will now that his true, ugly colors are being exposed to the patriarch? These are the burning, suspenseful questions keeping us all on the edge of our seats right now. Thank you so much for tuning in to B&B for Phone. Make sure to drop your thoughts, rants, and wild theories in the comments below, because we absolutely love reading them and discussing them with you.
What do you guys think about today's drama? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of bold and beautiful news. See you in the next video.